So let's take it back a few years. So you're 16 years old. What advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
I would say that you're going to survive. You're going to survive this, and you're going to get out, and everything you feel about yourself now, and everything you believe about who you are. And that you can't believe the people around you and how they're, maybe this pressure cooker of life, and teenage angst and parental conflict and all of that none of that will matter at some point. And that you'll find your voice and you'll find your passion, and that the art and the creativity in you will surface and will find a place in the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have a little girl.
I do. MSP shout out. Miss Sassy, because surprising I would raise a sassy child, right? It's so shocking.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very cool, because I'm sure that's how you will raise her, and that you have that hindsight now.
I think growing up, trusting myself wasn't something that I was really taught to do or supported to do.
Yeah.
I knew I felt certain things, believed certain things, but there was always doubt put in my mind that those things were wrong. The one thing that I reinforced with her is to trust her gut, right?
So
Listen
important.
to your inner voice. It is the most powerful tool we have as women. It's the thing that'll get us out of trouble. It's the thing that will guide us toward our dreams and fulfilling that, and not letting any naysayer or voice sort of misguide you. Because that's what happened a lot. I was misguided a lot in different directions. So.
And the fact you're teaching her that she has that superpower now is huge. I mean, that's huge.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, as a parent, like, we come from, this is why the nurture part, right? Instead of freak of nature, we're born with a certain set of predisposition, personality traits, and then our life takes us potentially on a different path, which is why nurture is so critical to really helping you find the true self that you are.
Yeah.
And with my daughter, her true self is absolutely magnificent for all the things that are her, for all the things that all the people in her life, like, grandparents and her dad and me and her aunts and uncles and cousins, all the ways that they fuel her. At the end of the day, I want her to know that she is her own person and that her truth is right.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Amazing. Okay. So you've had some disappointments in love and heartbreaks. What keeps you coming back to this concept of love?
Because I have love in my life. I mean, I'm not at a loss for love. I think, again, separating the idea of love, because I'm filled. Yeah. I found love for myself. I have love for my daughter. I have love for my family, for my friends. I love what I do. I intrinsically, love is present. And so I think in terms of finding companionship, I mean, that would be a beautiful thing. But I'm not going to settle again for that, and I think that often what I used to do is settle for less than what I deserved, because I actually didn't know what it was I deserved. And until I was able to figure that out, I'm not ready yet. The universe is telling me I'm not ready yet. And so I believe that companion exists. And if I wind up walking this planet, singular, which, by the way, we all do. We all walk alone, right? But sometimes it's nice to be lifted and be carried sometimes, by someone you trust and love. But I'm not for want of love.
Yeah.
So.
Such a powerful place to be. It really is. So are there any obstacles or challenges that you're currently trying to overcome?
Yeah, the biggest thing that comes to mind is parallel parenting with my ex-husband, and dealing with someone who's generally an unhappy person and a bit of a narcissist. You learn that, and I've done a lot of research on this, that co-parenting isn't necessarily achievable. And some of the best relationships, and I know many divorced couples that co-parent beautifully, really support each other. They show that their kid that they're worth it. They show their child that they are worth the effort, even though they're not together anymore. That they're still a family, because you are, and you'll always be in each other's lives because of that child, because of that one common denominator. I think the disappointment for me is that I can't do that with him, but that in parallel parenting, I lead with kindness, even if he's not kind to me. I always give the benefit of the doubt. And that was a learning curve for me, but by the way, because I'm a fighter sometimes. And I'm a logical person, so anything that defies logic annoys the shit out of me. Yeah. Which he does often. So right now, figure out visitation. I mean, just getting the parenting part right so that my daughter even though our marriage is dissolved, our relationship as parents to her doesn't have to be. That she knows she comes first, that we will always do what's best for her, even if we don't agree, we'll figure it out as a family. So that's really what I'm facing right now, is the biggest sort of outlier, but hopefully coming to a close soon. So.
Okay, so a question that I ask all the bloggers, what sets your soul on fire?
So I think the Hustler had it 100% right. So I gotta agree with her that it is absolutely music for me. I think that there have been albums that have saved my life, like the Joshua Tree. It came at a time when I was just, lost, and it found me. And it helped me. It was almost like therapy. Like every song just spoke to me in a different way. And, I'm a dancer as well. For those that don't know, I'm a ballroom dancer. And so I have a very diverse palette in music, and I just absolutely love the feeling that I get. It gives me the feels. And I mean, I could have been dancing for 5 hours straight, and literally and I'll be sitting there sweating, makeup smashed all over my face, whatever. And the song will come on, whatever that song is, and I will get back up and just dance again. I mean, it is a passion. It lights me up. It fuels me. It's there for me. It's just the thing. It's that thing that makes me feel connected to the world.
I've never seen someone do the white girl dance. and Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yes.
The Elaine dance from Seinfeld.
It's a talent. It's another one of my secret talents.
We used to have you do it all the time with two people.
For shits and giggles. Well, we have the reunion coming up, so I guess we need to reprise.
Okay, so now that you're in the dating world post-divorce, is there any advice that you would give men that are, coming out of a divorce or even a breakup, that are getting back into the dating scene?
I would say date yourself first. I think that coming out of a relationship where you're sharing life with someone, there's this feeling of almost like, whoa, the weight of all the logistics and all of the living life and, everything that you have to accomplish comes down on you. You're like, wait a second, I've got to figure this out on my own now. And you're grasping at straws and immediately want to fill the void. But inevitably, anyone I've spoken to that's been divorced, they immediately go for the relationship a few months after they get separated, and it is inevitably their rebound. I did the same thing, guilty as charged. But I would just say to anyone, date yourself first. I would probably go back in time before I got married and said, date yourself first. We're always looking for someone to fill the blanks in us. And I did the same thing. Yeah. I'm at fault for that. But in retrospect and in hindsight, I think you need to get to know yourself, make yourself whole before you welcome another human being into your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think people take enough time to heal.
Yeah.
And I think, coming out of a divorce, especially with a child, or with children, I can't imagine, what that feels like and the time that it would take to feel like you're ready enough to get out there and.
Exactly, it's an upheaval of any relationship that we come out of, right?
Yeah.
So it's an upheaval, and I think that especially in divorce with children, or even without, but especially with children, you've got to really focus on them. You've got to really put them in the driver's seat and make them the focal point and priority. Get to know yourself. Have a great time on your own, and then think about it. Okay. And start to test it and know that it's going to be a process. Advice that I got from a guy that I was talking to online, it was actually pretty great advice, which was, don't go into it thinking that this is the one. Don't go into it thinking that you're going to get married to this person. Go into it saying, what can they teach me? Yeah. How can I, what lesson can I take from this person? Yeah. How can they enrich my life in some way? And that could be a short period of time, 3 months. It could be just one date, but know that every person comes with a lesson for you. Yeah. Yeah, it is treating it as an experience as opposed to, yeah, that's awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much. I love having you here. Love you, Jen. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you. Next time on the couch. Bye, freaks.